It makes you a better technologist by deep diving into effective administration techniques. Right, so you'll be learning a lot on Oracle database administration techniques. So that will definitely increase your value to your future, current and future employer as well. And it also promotes job stability. Now the reason how Oracle database promotes Oracle training promotes job stability is, see, when you compare Oracle with other softwares like say development or testing tools, like say consider programming, right? You had topics like technology like COBOL and Pascal in the earlier days, and today you have Java, HTML, and others. So there's a big difference, right? There is a huge upgrade in that technology. So for somebody who was an expert in the older versions or older technology, they had to learn something all over new, right? Something that they are not even familiar with to update themselves in the market, correct? But when it comes to your Oracle database, the core functionality has been the same since the beginning, right? If you take the earlier versions of Oracle to the latest ones, the core functionality has been the same. I mean, there have been new functions added, new features integrated into that. But for somebody who had to upgrade, they just have to learn what is new with the new version. That's all. So it is not like they're learning something that they don't even know. Correct? It's not something they're learning all over again. So you just have to update yourself by learning the new features. So that promotes job stability, doesn't it? So you're never really out of date. You just have to learn what is new with the new features. That's all.
Yes, I got it.
So the top 5 reasons I could give for an IT professional to take up this course is it helps with the salary enhancement, helps in a career growth, a lot of flexible learning options, as well as an Oracle expert instructor delivering the course. So I myself am a certified professional, right? So I did I have plenty of certifications on Oracle. So I can help you know how the certification process also is and what are the industry's best practices. Since I'm a full-time DBA, I can also let you in on that. Right? But for an IT professional, it is a career starter. So somebody who's not into IT, they can get into IT by taking up this course. It's a career starter, and for most students, it is a campus to corporate bridge. Right? Helps them get into corporate. This course is also in correspondence with your Oracle Certified Associate examination. Right? So that's the first level of certification from Oracle, stating that you know all the basics of Oracle. So this course, what are the topics that are covered here are the same what are recommended by Oracle for your OCA certification. If you go to Oracle website and log into trainings portal and see, Oracle recommends the same curriculum what we're going to discuss throughout the course, right?
Yes,
and you have a lot of hands-on practice. So it's not just theory. For all the modules, most of the modules what we discuss, there will be hands-on practice sessions. And also you get to know what are the industry's best practices. Now it is not necessary that what you learn is being what is applied in the industry, right? So there might be a difference there. So that difference you get to know with the with industry's best practices. So how is it best applied in the industry? So if say for example you learn about backups, right? Now backing up database is quite simple, but is it how it has been utilized in the industry, or how is industry using that particular feature? Correct? So you get to learn about that as well. So as I said, the curriculum is more industry oriented, so it helps you align with your real life IT jobs. What are that? So what do you need to know if you want to start working as an Oracle DBA, right? So you get to learn all those facts here. You have an Oracle expert instructor that will reinforce these topics with structured hands-on practices that will also prepare you for the corresponding OCA certification and also keep you up with the industry's best practices, right?
Yes.
So this is a small survey that we have done, and we have found almost 100% student satisfaction guaranteed. Right? Less than 1% have come back to retake few of the topics that they felt a little bit of difficulty in understanding, and even they were able to finish the course much earlier. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, why choose Oracle Database Administration? Why choose database administration? Now, see, when you talk about database administration, it is quite a generic topic, right? It covers almost everything about your database. So there are a few advanced topics, like say performance management, high availability, grid, security and manageability, and many more. Now, this is just a few I've mentioned here. Now, when you say about performance management, it talks about only how to keep your database up and running at its best, right? To keep its performance at its best. When you talk about high availability, high availability only means that how to keep your database available all the time, no matter what. Say even if there is a natural calamity or say hardware or issue or software issue, no matter what happens, your database should be available, right? It should never go down. That high availability talks about that. In grid, again, you learn about scalability. So how does your same database support the same say workload that is 10 times more, right? Say today you start with some amount of work, and say few years down the line it will increase tenfolds. Will your database be able to support the same? Grid talks about that, right? How do you scale up? Then you have security and manageability. Security means how safe is your data in your database, how can you make it more secure, and manageability is about managing the entire unit as a database, right? So these are more advanced topics. For if you observe the structure, how now for an employee or a person who has expertised himself in these any one of these topics or in multiple topics is very highly placed in the industry, right? He's very there are people like them would be very handsomely paid, and they're very highly placed in the industries. I mean they are called as Oracle experts, right? So these to reach that expertise, or if you have to become an Oracle expert, or if you want to become an Oracle expert later on, the very first level is to have basic understanding of SQL, that is structured query language. Then the next step is to learn about Oracle database administration. So that is what this course is today. Okay, so once you learn that, once you're through with this course, the next is learning about advanced topics, and then you can go with any of those select advanced topics, and you can specialize yourself in them, right? So you'll be 2 steps into this process of becoming an Oracle expert. Okay. Right. So this particular training course is not only for experienced DBAs but also for people who are new to being database administrators. So you learn the basic knowledge required to install, create and maintain your database. Once you learn the essentials of database administration, later you can develop advanced knowledge in any of those focus areas, right? So later whether you focus on multiple focus areas or if you plan to pursue your DBA certification, this curriculum also meets up with your day-to-day challenges, because I told you this is more industry-oriented course, right? So what are the day-to-day challenges that we face as a DBA? So I can let you in on that. Since I work full-time as a DBA, I know what are the challenges that we face, right? So that I can share that knowledge with you guys, so that you can also be updated. So you don't have to wait for for those couple of months of to get to know what database DBA does, or how the work goes on for a DBA, right? So you will already gain some knowledge on that.
Yes.
So the title for this course is Oracle Database 11G Administration Workshop 1 Release 2. This is the title of our course. Okay.
Oh, it's 11G, it's not 12G, right?
No, we are training on 11G. Okay.
Okay.
The reason why we are training on 11G is 11G is a very stable version of your Oracle database, and it is much more popular than your 12C. Okay, so there are a number of companies who are running their applications on Oracle 11G or 10G editions, right? Okay. 12C has come out with cloud computing. Even though some people might be using 12C, but they are not actually using the cloud part of it. Okay, they are just using the database. That is just nothing but your 11G. Okay, with your Oracle 12C is database with cloud computing. If you remove the cloud computing part of it, it is just your 11G database. Okay, so 12C is just an upgrade for your 11G, to be frank, right? So there's nothing really not completely different. That is what I said, the next version that comes out, it will have only new features in it. It is not like something all over new again. The same has happened with 12C also. They have given cloud compatibility feature with your database. So if you are not using that, it's the same 11G database. Okay. So today, cloud is catching up, but still most of the companies are in experimental phase. So nobody has migrated to cloud. Most of the industry, a majority of them are on 11G. So your job opportunities are also on 11G. Even your certified 12C, you get hired for that, but you will be put on 11G database to work. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, Ram, I have a question.
Yeah.
And in this, what are the topics which we are going to cover? Right,
Yes.
in the sense, RMAN or data guard or
Correct.
something high availability. We have to update on this. We have to go for the advanced topic, or we will cover into the current running whatever the question or coming.
Okay. See, there are few topics that are covered here which you have mentioned, and some of them are under advanced course. Okay. So we'll just first have a look what topics are covered here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the general audience for this training course are database administrators, technical administrators, support engineers, consultants, developers, and students as well, right? The only prerequisite is you need to have a bit of working knowledge with SQL. Now, I hope everybody is familiar with SQL.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, I'm good with SQL. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay. But even if some people who do not have knowledge on that, what we have done is we have integrated the basics of SQL also into this course, right? So that it covers your prerequisite as well. So you will also learn what SQL is, how SQL is used to query your database. So that's only basics, right? So it wouldn't take too much of our training time. We'll just learn the basics and then we will move towards the database administration, right?
Yes, sir.
So the course objectives are to install database software, create a database, administer it, configure your database for an application. So configuring database to application is quite important for a DBA because there are a number of applications, and all applications connect to a database, right? That is how the architecture is. Like for example, you take Facebook. Facebook is an application. Through Facebook, you will log in and you will access your data. Now, where is your data saved? It is saved in some manner database, right? That is a general architecture. Okay, so you don't directly connect to the database and access your data in Facebook. You have to go through an application called Facebook. So that is how the architecture has stabilized right now, right? So you have the application, you have the database, and you have storage. So there are three different layers. So that is the common architecture that is followed. Now what happens is, as a DBA, you must know how to configure your application. So how do you tweak your database to, support your application, and what are the configurations you need to do so that your application can connect to your database. Then employ basic monitoring procedures. So this is like the basics of being a DBA, how to monitor your database. The reason is databases are never shut down. Okay, production databases are always up and running because they're directly related to your business of that particular company. Now, for example, you consider a bank. No matter when you log in, you're able to access the bank website. You can perform a transaction. See, now you have those online this thing. Earlier, you had banks had timing. You had to go during that time and then do your activity there, right, with your account. But now everything is online. You can transfer funds or you can receive funds anytime. It is possible. Now, how is that possible? Because the servers, the applications are always available. They are always up and running. If you come back to the example of Facebook, again, you can log in anytime, right? Any time of the day, any time of the night, 24/7, Facebook is available. You never get a message saying that, currently Facebook is down or Facebook is under maintenance. You never get that message, correct?
Yes.
So since they are always available, you should make sure that nothing goes wrong. I mean, nothing goes wrong with them, right? They are always working at its best, or at least they're working, right? So monitoring again becomes a 24/7 activity. So that is why usually DBAs work in a team. DBAs don't work alone; they work in a team. So that you can monitor them 24/7. Now it is difficult for one person to do that, so you work in shifts, right? So maybe a couple of people work on the morning shifts, then afternoon, then evening, and night, and like that. They keep on working in shifts and make sure that your databases are always under constant monitoring. Okay, so that you can predict if something goes wrong ahead, right? And then you can rectify it even before it happens. So for most of the components of your most of the components of your database, you can predict ahead and take countermeasures before they actually become an issue, right? I mean, failure is inevitable. It will happen for some time, but monitoring will make you prepared for that. Okay. Right. Next is your backup and recovery strategy. Again, as I said, failure is inevitable for a database. It can be either hardware or software, right? So in case when your database goes down because of a failure, how do you get it back, right? How do you make sure that there is no data loss? So it only depends on how good your backup strategies are. So if you have excellent strategies in place, your backup, your recovery will be that good, right? You can. So as a DBA, your aim should be zero data loss, right? Should always aim for that. Now it is difficult to achieve, but you need to have good backup strategies in place so that you can try to achieve zero data loss. Okay. And lastly, move data. So even moving data between databases is important for a DBA. Now, for example, when you take a production environment, now production is generally not modified, right? Because companies do not take the risk of messing up those production databases and affecting their direct business, right? So what they do is they have a test environment. So in test environment, they simulate everything that is happening in the actual production, and they do all their R&D, research and development happens there. Now say if they want to integrate a new feature or with their application, or they want to do some changes to that, so they do that in the test environment first. So as a DBA, what you have to do is you need to constantly keep updating the test environment so that the R&D team gets latest data to work with, right? Say for example, if the test environment is updated only say once in a year or maybe more than that, so what data the R&D team is working on is not the actual data that is there in the database, right? The production one. With that difference, the features may not actually properly work. Okay. So even the R&D teams needs latest data to work with, and that latest data will only be available in your production database. So as a DBA, you need to make a copy of that and load it in your production database. Test database. Okay. So again, you are the one who will be moving data, so you need to know how to move data between multiple databases, not just one, right? So that is also part of our course objective. So this entire objective, what we just discussed, have been categorized into these 18 topics, and as I told you, Oracle recommends you to study these 18 topics if you want to take up Oracle Certified Associate certification. Okay, so we start with introduction, where we discuss about the architecture of a database, how the components are, what are components it has, how the data flows, all that. Then we'll install the software, create a database, manage the database, right? Create user accounts, set up security passwords, configure your database for application, that is network environments, proactive maintenance, and performance management. Now performance management is quite important. It in itself is an advanced topic, so we'll be discussing some part of your performance management here. Then you have backup and recovery concepts, so your RMAN, export, there are various methods of backups, so we'll all discuss it here, and performing recovery as well, and performing flashback. Now flashback is a new feature, so flashback is also pretty important. You can see how flashback works and how you can make best use of flashback, and lastly how to move data. Okay, so these are the topics that we'll be discussing here. So any other topic usually is covered under advanced topics, so you can maybe after this course you can take up another training on that, right? Because here we talk about basics, understanding on how your database functions, right? How you can manage your database. So as I said, after this you can build knowledge in any of those focus areas, like say Oracle Data Guard. The Data Guard is about high availability, right? So how do you replicate your database real time? Here we will learn about replication, but not a real time replication, right? So say there will be a difference of maybe 1 day between the two servers, but Data Guard means the servers are parallel, on par to each other, right? That is online replication. So that requires again a bit of advanced knowledge, so you again need to go in depth on that topic and learn more features in that, right? And similarly, where you have Oracle RAC. So Oracle RAC stands for Real Application Cluster. So again, that is another advanced topic which talks about high availability. Like say even first server goes down, how do you continue your work using the second server? So you have multiple servers there, not a single database, single machine. There are multiple instances accessing your database. Okay. So again, that's a advanced topic. Okay. Right. So these are the topics that we will be discussing for this particular training course. Okay.